Boy, I promised you something different, and I aim to deliver. All new, the POKITMETER. Let's take a look. Portable multimeter, oscilloscope, and logger. Wow, everything in what they're calling the world's tiniest multimeter package. Amazing. Big shout out to the folks over at POKITMETER.com. Thank you so much for providing this little yellow bundle of joy for the review. Appreciate it. So POKITMETER sent the POKITMETER KS edition over for this review. Now it does have a couple of requirements, and one of them is you're going to need a device to let it speak to. That's right, yeah, there is no display on this. It's going to feed off the display from your phone or tablet, any other smart device you have. For this review, I'm going to be looking at it on an Android tablet. POKITMETER is calling this a full-fledged multimeter, a digital storage oscilloscope, and data logging tool, so that is a lot of might in such a tiny little package. So this little guy was actually made in China, but it says designed in Sydney. Land that onto Sydney, Australia. So, wow. You know, this is definitely very innovative, a really neat twist on the multimeter arena, and it's really nice to see fresh ideas, fresh thinking in the world of metrology. The little POKITMETER ships in a pretty colorful little box with a nice little bubble opening, letting you know what you're getting. Measure anything, anywhere. Ain't that the truth? Along with this, you get a load of this, folks. These cute little tiny test lead add-ons, little snaps, crocodile-style snaps. And look at that tiny little fuse. Yes, that is a fuse. And nice, they ship that with the meter. And if that wasn't enough, they even throw in a case, your little pocket case for your pocket rocket. Love it. Now, POKITMETER doesn't really give you a manual. It's basically a little piece of paper with just a quick rundown of the tech specs. Here you can see DC voltage, AC voltage, AC/DC current measurement, 1 milliamp to 2 amps, resistance from 1 to 1 mega ohm, ambient temperature. That's right, this thing actually does temperature too. Can you believe it? Continuity, a diode check, and the list goes on. Yeah, and it's got data logging. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. And the batteries are, yeah, little 2032 lithiums, and apparently it's 6 months of battery life. So wow. So as you can see, the device itself is really, really tiny. This thing is minute, small. Oh, wow, so small. But that's okay because, you know, it's called a POKITMETER, right? This will fit in your pocket. Heck, this will fit in your, jeez, ear. I don't know, it's tiny. It just doesn't get any smaller than this. But that's okay. That's okay. Good things come in small packages. So if you look at the pocket, you can see here we have the test leads. They are just nicely embedded on the sides. And yeah, they pull out. They pull out like that. Oh my goodness, he's a happy little POKITMETER. Now on the back, you have that quick release button to get those test leads back. Just press on it, and away you go. Once again, these do ship with that attachment, little crocodile lead, and it just simply goes on like so. And then you have something perhaps a little bit more functional if you just want to clip it. Of course, the device also has a nice little inlet here, so if you want to put it on your keychain, you'll be the coolest guy on the block. Taking apart your pocket couldn't be easier. To go in the back, do a couple of turns, and bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. It's like magic. You're greeted with your battery. And to remove the battery, it just pops out just like that, and there you go. And once you are inside, you can see there is that fuse. Look at that little fuse right here, and that just simply comes out. Small flathead screwdriver, and you can easily replace it. Wow, very, very cool.
Resistance is futile. Please give us your pockets.
Oh yeah, very neat, nifty. Okay, let's start testing. Once you're inside the main GUI, you can tell you have a really nice, clean interface. Three options: multimeter, oscilloscope, and data logger. And we are looking firstly at the multimeter option. Right now we're sitting at millivolts, and we should be looking at 250 and 249.8 works for me. Okay, let's switch it over, and we should be seeing 2.50 now. 2.492, a little bit of wavering, fluttering, but hey, fairly close, no worries here. Now we're going to switch to temperature mode, because this does do temperature. And you can see we have Celsius and Fahrenheit at the bottom left, and as well you have a calibration mode. So if you are really serious about your temperature, you can actually calibrate it. But we're not going to go that far today. Right now we're sitting around 23 degrees in the lab, and if I put that in Fahrenheit, that is a balmy 73 degrees. Moving down the line, when we do a switch, you can tell we have that pop-up prompt. Do you want to switch to current mode? It is saying, and in this case, yeah, why not? Let's do some milliamp testing, shall we? So we're going to go over to milliamp mode. And right now we are in AC, so we're actually going to switch that. We want DC current. And we are now in milliamp mode. Take it up to 2 milliamps. 2 milliamps. Wow. Okay. There we are. 2.4. Now it's moving. Wow. A lot of lag in the milliamp range. 3.4. Showing us 3.28. Let's take it up to 4.5. 4.45 milliamps. Let's go higher and higher. 5.8 coming up as 5.4. 6.5. Yeah, that's good. 6.51. 7.5, 7.51, 8.5, 8.54, and let's do 10 milliamps even, Steven. 10 milliamps, 9.97 milliamps. So, hey, no problems in milliamp mode. A little bit of a lag, but hey, not bad at all. Next up, we're going to try diode mode. So let's just click on the diode icon, and we are now in diode mode. So I don't expect a whole lot in the diode department, that's for sure. But hey, let's see what happens. Let's start off with the green LED. And it's a little awkward, but nothing. Okay, the yellow LED, same thing. Over to the red LED. Nope. Blue, ain't gonna happen. Finally, the white LED, nada. So, 0 for 5 for both illumination and forward voltage drop. Fail. According to the Ryobi, the output voltage in diode mode is all over the place. Yeah, there is no definitive output voltage. It is just going crazy. According to the manual for the pocket meter, we should be looking at around 1.5 volts or less, but yeah, it's just way too chaotic. The oscilloscope feature is another great little addition to the pocket meter. Once again, this does not replace your standard oscilloscope, so don't even think you can throw that one out with the bathwater. It ain't gonna happen. I tested it with a sine wave and a square wave, and it seemed to be fairly accurate. Now, because of the way the interface is set up, you're using pinching gestures, and you have different scaling and time code baselines to deal with, so it does get to be a little bit awkward at times. But once again, it's not an oscilloscope replacement. Having fun doing it, you know, on the bench, whatever, for a quick oscilloscope readout. If you're not expecting too much, if you're not too demanding, then you should be just fine. It also has history, archiving, what have you, so you can go back and look at previous readings as well. All in all, not a bad little addition to the pocket meter. This happens a lot with the pocket meter on the display of your smart tablet. In my case, I get this prompt to switch just by simply, going through the columns here. Sometimes you're just browsing, you don't want to actually switch on anything, but a lot of times it will just pop up independently, and it gets to be a bit of a pain. The pocket measures a mere 17.6 millimeters in diameter, and if we actually look at the length, what do we got here? 50 millimeters. So this thing is just uber tiny. Current, well, 42 volts AC, 60 volts DC, that is your limit. Now, even household, stuff, you're usually, at least in North America, looking around 120 volts or so. So it can be problematic. I think if you're going to stick to, hobbyist work, anything under 12 volts DC, you should be okay. But really, with the little device, you are limited. Now, it does have a big brother, the Pocket Pro, which is more expensive, but it does have a higher voltage default. Next up is continuity mode. That's right, continuity. Even with the Pocket, I am not letting this pass on by. It's my favorite part of the segment. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, stock probes. Wow, loud, latched, but really laggy. I'll give that about a 6 out of 10. Whoopah, 93.5 dBA. That is loud. Good stuff. Finally, the last feature is the data logger capability built into the POKITMETER. And once again, it is a nifty little tool. You have certain capabilities, including, I believe it's 6 months of logging. 6 months. You're really only dependent by the battery life of the POKITMETER itself. All the logs are on the device, and you can actually transfer those to your mobile phone or smart device as a text file. And you can store current, temperature, and of course, volts. So kind of a neat little tool to have, and hey, it seems to work just fine. You also have your history, so you can look at various time segments for analysis. Here we are in the inside of the POKITMETER. Boy, that was fun. So we have that one little clip that basically pops off, and we have a spring mechanism here that holds those 2 leads in place. Now, if you ever so gently lift it up, it will, yeah, there you go. So you got that metallic spring for the retaining mechanism that keeps those test leads coming in and coming out. So I'm not going to pull that apart any farther. Okay, going in closer, look at that. Wow, what a sweet, sweet little marvel of engineering. Beautiful, all those tiny, tiny little components. Amazing. And if we look right here, the main crux, the brains of the unit, that's the Silicon Labs wireless EFR32 SoC device. Yeah, this little one does it all. It has a multi-protocol feature for integrating ARM Cortex M4 MCUs, has Bluetooth Smart built into it, and all sorts of proprietary wireless connectivity and technology in that one little freaking chip. Amazing. Here we have our fuse placement as well, right there. And of course, our usual array of resistors, capacitors, transistors, and all those little good things. Right here we have the fuse header. This is what that sits on the fuse. Right here we have the main fuse header. This is where the fuse goes. And yeah, very, very sweet. All in all, super, super compact. Very, very nice. And I just love that system on chip design. Definite next gen here. All right, gonna put it all back together. Come back with my closing thoughts. Well, seriously, folks, it is a POKITMETER, but is it really that useful? Unfortunately for me, the answer is no. Even when space becomes an issue, toolbox, what have you, I would still rather have a standard multimeter than this little POKITMETER. Granted, this is a pretty novel device, and in terms of overall portability, well, nothing comes close. That being said, software-wise, a lot of problems just seemed really buggy. I think the best case scenario for the POKITMETER is tie it to your keychain, and if you need a multimeter in a pinch and you have it tethered to your smartphone, there you go. Low voltage wise, it's really hard to go wrong. Other than that, I just can't recommend the POKITMETER. It just does not do enough for the price point. And yeah, they're not giving this guy away. We're talking over $80 US for this mini POKITMETER. Unfortunately, the POKITMETER gets 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah, that's just way too expensive a price point for what you get. Hey, thanks for watching this review, everybody. Lots more coming. And you know what? Stay safe, stay strong. Till the next one, keep on testing.